Brand, I still haven't fucked with that memory card adapter.
It's all right.
Been busy saving the galaxy. Trying to catch up to Cesar.
You get there eventually, maybe.
I want to get a third of the way there. I'll be happy with that progress.
I'm almost done with 3, so.
Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be happy if I get a third of the way there.
Hey, man, 2's peak physical game. I'm playing 3, and I just want to stop playing. I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah. Michael was texting me the same thing. He's like, I heard on the podcast you guys were almost done with, or you were playing 1. Let me know if you want some guidance on 2. NOFODcast. What do we call this stream? It always clears out. NOFODcast. Episode.
Booty hole.
What?
7.
What? Episode 7?
Team. Team.
Update. Select the game.
17.
What is the most streamed game? Should we just say we're streaming like Dirt Rally or something? Dark Souls?
Fortnite.
Cat
Fortnite's
Quest.
on here. Cat Quest is not.
Blood and Truth.
Donut County.
Donut County is not. Fallout 4.
A Crayola Scoot.
Nope. Job Simulator.
Scoot. What the fuck?
It's the actual game.
Path of Exile. PUBG.
If you pop in that Peppa Pig PS4 game, we get a lot of hits. I bet you. Everybody
Peppa Pig.
I got that Barb and Tina on the horse farm.
Hey, that Peppa Pig.
Gosh.
The sad thing, that Peppa Pig pre-order sold out on Amazon. It was no joke.
You kidding?
People hungry for it. Yeah.
Hungry for it.
When Wario put it up there, to like, you think we playing on this when nobody was sleeping
I saw
on
him
that.
say that.
Yeah.
It's like, you crazy bastards.
He got a
Y'all
lot
made
of
this thing
kickback
sell
from
out.
me. He got a lot of kickback on it.
Did y'all get a Twitch notification? Because the stream doesn't say it's doing anything.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten anything yet.
I'm on our channel, and it says we were live on our channel. I'm watching this right now. I just see. I don't see you, Richard.
On the stream?
I don't know. Hold on. No, there you are. I just had to hit the watch now.
Nope, there it is.
Way. Yeah. Damn it.
Yep. 0 people.
It was 0 people. I'm there, and somebody else is there. It's just, it doesn't count.
That's
I don't
me.
count.
Now I
I'm
see
not
one
a-
viewer finally, but session still says 0. It says zeros across the board, so I don't get that.
0 people.
And
Let's
y'all didn't get
go.
it. There it is. There's the notification.
Your notification.
It's usually like 1:40, but this one was even longer.
Somebody else is there. It's just,
Here we go.
now I
And there's that.
Who sounds up?
Inception.
Yep. It's all about Inception.
Brant, thank you for building the news.
Incepting. I built some of it, and then I went back today to finish it up with a couple stories, and noticed somebody else had.
Most welcome. Did you add anything other than what I had?
Well, I had to fix one of your links because when I got ready, the link for the Steam related story was nothing.
It was nothing? Well, that's not good.
I would click on it and nothing would happen, so I went into the doc and actually saw the link, and it just said http:// and then it was word for word what you had put in for the stories. It didn't link to any website.
That shit broke.
Okay.
Well, that's not good.
It broke fantastically.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens if I
fixed that.
report NOFODcast. If I report us.
On the stream.
Oh no! Please don't.
Oh man, the Hawks are already playing. I was hoping we'd be done.
Yeah. Nope, I'm watching right now on the side. It's inside way. We're the most hated team in the NBA.
Love it.
I saw the votes on Twitter. They all, I think we're at like 25%. They all want us to lose today's game.
I love it. Bring it. Yo, you had a player and the whole crowd was chanting "fuck Trae Young." They were saying "fuck this player," and he answered. How could you hate this team? He fucking answered. How many points is he? He only has 5 points. DeAndre Hunter's going off apparently.
I don't care as long as we
Fuck
win.
the Knicks. That's the episode title.
They freaking screw New York, man. They got like 20 teams in the freaking
and their ringers
playoffs.
on there saying don't draw fouls and shit. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, whatever, man.
Oh, sports. Brant, you're a lucky man.
Oh.
Boo. Oh, and Philadelphia's destroying Washington, so that dream's dead. Here we go.
Is that who we're gonna get?
I don't think so. Because what Philly is the number one seed, I think, aren't they? So I don't think we would. All right, stop. This is riveting content. Should just put the basketball game on my TV and we can just stream it and it get taken down. Be the new Justin TV. Come watch us. Watch the game. Just put NBA playoffs Hawks versus Knicks in the title.
Hey, that's how they got their start. That's how I watched bootleg Liverpool streams that way. It'd be somebody streaming Sky Sports in Europe, so I could watch.
Like, can we technically take them down? They're not really showing anything. It's just in the back end.
Like those people who stream the whole movie and they're just it's just like a window in the stream. Those always crack me up.
Yeah, technically it's transformative. You can't copyright.
Oh, what's going on?
Trick the algorithm. That's how you do it.
I'm trying to get all these news articles pulled up so we can go.
Oh, you're fine. So to answer your question, yes, the winner of the Philly and Washington series is who we would play if we beat the Knicks.
Los Knicks.
Philly would be a tough. They're the number one seed, so.
Oh man.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Milwaukee and the Nets and the other half of that bracket. So. I don't see Boston, and I don't see Miami turning it around. But you never know.
Yeah. Brent, you said you added a story, or you just fixed my link? That was it.
No, I just fixed your link.
I was looking for one more.
You fixed your colon problem.
Yeah, my colon, my secure site, my different port.
Your hypertext protocol.
I'm glad you put that Xbox story in there. I saw that, but I had forgotten about it after I watched the little video.
Yeah, but I know you enjoy shit like that. I know I do.
Timmy!
Timmy.
Oh, shit.
Lords of the Underworld?
Yeah, it's pretty good, Cesar. If you hadn't seen it, we'll kick it around.
I have.
Timmy!
Cesar sees all, he knows all.
He does. He's the lore master. Look at his brain. He's got maximum storage in there.
No, I was actually to the point where Adam Vinatieri retired, and I can't believe today was real. I was like, "Did this happen?"
Oh, dear God. He's been playing since the 90s, right?
After 24 seasons.
Holy shit.
We got 4 rings,
Who's
man.
still
Can't
active
beat
in
that.
sports that's longer than that? Like Venus and Serena, maybe? Maybe Federer? It's got to be a tennis player, right? If it's not a kicker. My arm's sore. 2 viewers, welcome to. I think it's actually 3 because...
Totally don't know who those people were. No, it's 5. It shows 5 on my end.
I see 2. Thank you, Nipponichi Zero, Highway 81B asked, and whoever the third one is. I don't know. Please put in the chat if you are chatting along with us.
I had 5 people in the drop down to 3, so 2 people like, nah, fuck this, and just dropped
Yeah, they're
off.
trying to talk to us. Superfly, thank you for joining us, Superfly. Hello.
The Fly? Is it
See, that's 3 people. How do we get these bullshit numbers every time? This shit's broken. Or they know that we're gaming it. Oh yeah, we know you gotta have your minimum 3, and you're always chalking up the same 3. We'll show you. We'll show you your affiliation goals.
They'll never find me as I don't hide my IP address.
Then there's that. Hello. Let's go 5 people. Oh man, it's 8:18. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time for us to wait so we can get disappointed by the Dragon Quest thing at 11:30. So let's go.
I'm not staying up till 11:30. I got home at 11 last night.
I'm not staying up for anything for Dragon Quest.
Everyone knows the real show starts tomorrow. You got that Sonic stream, baby.
I'm more excited about me being excited about them porting Dragon Quest to every console ever made and not ever happening.
Yeah.
When's the Horizon one?
So
tomorrow? That's also tomorrow?
Tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
Sonic is tomorrow. Horizon's tomorrow. Dying Light 2 is tomorrow. Everything's tomorrow.
Dead Island 2?
Dying Light 74, 64.
They've already said that that
Episode
was going to get delayed till 2022, so I don't know what really they're going to show with Dying Light.
No, he's talking about Dead Island. It's Dead Island.
Or Dead
I'm
Island.
fucking around with Dead Island because that's like vaporware. That's my Jaeger studio.
Was it Dying Light 2 or was it Dead Island?
Cesar, what's the game you and I played?
Now you got
where
me
we
all
kept
fucked.
hiding on the roof. There's just
Dead
zombies everywhere.
It might be Dying Light 2. I think I had it right the first time. So.
Cesar, did you and I try the first Dying Light?
We did Dead Island.
I don't think we did Dead Island. That was the resort one. Unless we played a different one, a different build of it.
No, we did both. We did the resort one, and then we did Dying Light demo.
That's what it was.
But we also tried Dead Island as well.
Dead Island was good shit.
And then it was never played again. Yeah, you know how it is when we play shit, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Before have you started recording yet?
No.
So what's
We're just
interesting is that works. It's interesting. One of those VTubers I watch on HoloLive, so they were talking about playing Yakuza, and they said some other game. So they are contractually obligated, since they have permissions for Yakuza, they have to play Yakuza on PS4, based off their contract. So she has a Switch and a PC, so she's like, I gotta buy a PS4 to play Yakuza. And she's like, I'll get one.
I'm sure the
there was another
contract
game
more than pays for that.
And on top of that, there's a game she was going to play that is contractually obligated. They have to play it on Wii U, so she has to buy a Wii U also.
Oh my
I don't remember what the
gosh.
game was. I got to go back and listen to it, but she says she has to get a PS4 and a Wii U so she can stream those games.
That I actually want to know. I want to know what Wii U title she has to stream.
You have to go back and listen to it. I caught the end of it. She's like, I'll get a PS4 and Wii U.
Is it
soon.
Fatal Frame?
That's all she said. I don't know. I don't remember. I can't say for sure. I don't want to guess.
That is my guess. Or it's
Yeah.
Earthbound Zero.
Let's name games that we won't ever play.
Skyward Sword.
Gorilla Scoop.
Or is that Gorilla Scoop?
That works too.
Okay.
Another personal favorite from Richard, Bastion.
Bastion.
Battle Chasers Night War.
I think I've bought that like 3 times and never played it.
Yeah, because they kept dropping it below $20. I was like, I'll play this one day, and
Because it's always like, return to the turn-based RPG action you all know and love. I'm like, yes, that's me. Me. I think having it on PC, Switch, and PS4 and Xbox was Game Pass.
but I'll let you know. I'll go back and watch that stream again because I just heard the Wii U. I was like, yeah, buy a Wii U to play something.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
gotta know.
their contracts are weird. I can't think of anything on Wii U outside of Fatal Frame, but
Let me grab one more drink and then we'll go press go.
that works.
for
I
it.
gotta go to the bathroom one time, and
time.
we're destroying the Knicks. Knock on
Yes,
wood.
God, yes. Oh, man.
You jump on any of those sales?
Chip.
Animes?
This animes. Yeah. Spent about $100 on Sentai.
What'd you get?
Basically everything we talked about.
Classics, the stuff that you like, kind of like what I do.
Yeah, I got. I hadn't seen it, but I've heard so much about it. I got. What is it? Girls. Unterpanzer.
And I'm out.
Came in, yeah. Girls Unterpanzer.
It's girls and
I think I'm
guns
out.
and tanks.
I think I knew what it was. I speak German, Brand. I know what Unterpanzen are.
You didn't say Pantsu.
No, I didn't say pantsu. Wow, that actually that does feel really good.
What you got? Your Astro City controller?
Yeah,
That looks sharp.
The one came in like a couple days after the actual Astro City mini arcade. But then this yesterday, the one I ordered from Play Asia came in, and yeah, that D-pad feels really good.
Got a good
it does.
good feel to it. Good tactile.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, Brant.
And I know my kid was extremely excited. I was like, "Hey, I got another controller." He's like, "We can put it on the TV and we can play together." I'm like, "Yep."
Oh yeah. Let's play.
Time for some golden age.
There's nothing like a new controller. A good controller.
Don't worry, don't you worry, Richard. This Friday is gonna be a Double Dragon Day.
I'm not playing Double Dragon with you ever.
Oh yeah.
The whole internet is celebrating on Double Dragon Day.
No one is. It's just you, sir. Everyone hates Double Dragon but you.
Don't worry, I'm gonna tag you in every tweet that they do for Double Dragon Day. You're gonna be in there. You'll be pissed. I'll be tagging you every time in there. You're gonna have to block me. You're gonna send me a thing that says block Sasser. I'm like, yep, mute Sasser.
You got 2 out of the 3. What's
block, mute, unfollow?
I'll be okay with that. My feelings will not
You're
be hurt.
done.
You cannot tweet that Richard Bergman anymore. I'm like, whatever. Tag him anyway.
These tweets are protected. These tweets are protected. You've been blocked. Banhammer.
Go on there. Go under a fake account. Jack.
You'll get some burner. I just have this burner account that's constantly tweeting me about Double Dragon. I don't know who it is.
It's gonna be some overly buff dude like that one time on there that just randomly tagged you with random bullshit. So. And you're like, what the hell? And he tagged me in there too. I was like, what? Who's this guy? That's when it all started. Remember? When we start getting random tags from everybody.
No. That's right after I unlocked my account. I was like, this was a mistake. Why did I do this? I should have stayed private. All right, here we go.
Never go public.
Did you say something, Brand? I saw your lips moving, but I didn't hear anything. I'm making sure.
I said never go public.
There you go. Making sure you weren't on mute. All right, I don't have any witty geriatric millennial intro for you guys.
Other than the Knicks just came back. It's bad.
Are you kidding me? It's basketball.
It's 32-31.
That's basketball, man. These swings are crazy. I think I got something. All right, y'all ready to be a little off the cuff? Well, it's on the cuff, but it's spontaneous a little bit. You ready?
As long as you don't tell Alexa to play Rabotage.
All of y'all is Rabotage. All right, we got our 3 people. Let's go. Skype. Stop laughing, Cesar.
Rabotage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 160 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast. Tonight, could you soon be gaming on Netflix? Question mark. Xbox Easter egg found after 20 years. This is really cool. Timmy! Virtua Fighter is back! Exclamation point. Virtua Fighter might come up a couple times this episode. Valve to enter portable console market, according to a report. What's that all about? We have your June Lames with Gold. Yes, I put that in there. Cesar, thank you for coining that phrase. And your June PlayStation Plus titles. I'm Richard Bergman, and my favorite all-time controller is the Super Nintendo controller. I'm joined by Brant McKee, whose favorite all-time controller is the
Oh, damn, that's a hard one.
Yeah. You gotta be ready. You gotta be
How
ready
can
for
you
the
put it on
randomness.
me? How could you put it on me like that? I don't know. I'm gonna say that 6-axis was pretty damn
Six
sweet.
axis. Very specifically, the 6-axis. On that note, the first PlayStation controller is really just an iteration of the Super Nintendo controller. So that one's up there too.
Pretty much.
All right, also joining myself, Richard Bergman, fan of the Super Nintendo controller, and Brant McKee, fan of the rumbleless 6-axis layer playing PS3 controller, is Cesar Concepcion II, whose favorite all-time controller is the
Probably the one I've used the most so far would be the DualSense. I think it's pretty comfortable.
DualSense. That is a damn good controller,
Yeah.
all time.
Trying to.
I'm gonna have to say the best controller of all time is 360 though.
It's solid.
That
Good ass controller.
That 360 controller it's still to this day.
A good ass controller.
It's perfect size. Buttons, everything feels perfect.
The menu was great. It had a light up thing that told you what controller you were right there on the front of the controller. That's a good pad.
Oh.
It's a standard pad.
That would have been close, but I'm sticking with my DualSense one. Yeah, they might have been 360 before that, but that DualSense is very comfortable in my hands.
I was holding it.
I don't get cramps like I used to holding it. I didn't get cramps on the 360 ones either, but that I was concerned about that DualSense because it was the added weight, but it fits perfectly.
It is a good controller. I think time will tell with that one, especially as we get some more good instances of that DualSense technology.
I can't speak on the DualSense technology. I can only speak on comfort level. That's how I base my controllers. Best controllers is comfort level. So GameCube would be a close one.
GameCube's up there. I love the N64 controller. I played so much N64, but again, that was my first that was my console.
That rough stick in my thumbs. That's the only thing with me. So,
but I never had problems with it. Like that was my controller. I had my controller. So
yeah. I didn't grow up
playing 64. What are you doing? You're holding it like a monster. Who does that?
Yeah.
I didn't. I went over to other people's house and played it, and I mean, as a kid, I was like, "What is this
thing?
64? This this misshapen controller." And then as an adult, I'm like, this is actually a very well designed controller.
They were
we all know that,
we
all know the real MVP was the Jaguar 64 controller with the 24 button cell phone at the bottom. So.
Pads you could get on there. That thing's a piece of shit. I picked it up the other day because Stone Age Gamer had the Jaguar EverDrive thing up, and I was this close. I was like, I could get this because I'm about to buy the turbo one. There's a turbo one on eBay for $60, and I was like, I'm not ever buying another turbo game. I'll get this EverDrive and I'll have everything. And then I thought about it with the Jaguar. No, and it was like I think it's like $200 or $170 or something.
Ooh.
And I know that Mister is going to catch up to the Jaguar if I ever have to go that route. And every Jaguar game will be right there in that Mister core. It's like I do not have to play. I have no nostalgia for this original hardware. I have like 5 games for it. They all suck ass except for Alien vs Predator. I do not need a Jaguar. It would just be for streaming stuff, Do what?
Did they make more than 5 games for that thing?
There were more than that. And the Jaguar CD. I regret not buying that Jaguar CD years ago. I knew where there was a boxed Jaguar CD. It was $100 and he could not get rid of it. And I could have had it all day for $100. And those are $1,000 and up now, I believe. But there's no telling, like, caps might have gone bad on it. Like, I've got that rare, the JVC XI, the Sega CD and Genesis console built into one. And the Sega CD side of it doesn't work. I think it needs to be recapped or something. So it's kind of where we're getting to those early 90s consoles like that. Jaguar sucks. I do still have in my eBay cart the S video adapter for it because all I have for it is RF, and that really sucks. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe if I got a good clean signal out of that Jaguar.
Maybe.
Crap games are crap games, right? No matter how they look.
Pretty much.
There's no saving it. Yeah.
There's no saving it. Cesar says you're just gonna be playing shit in this video. It still doesn't make it better.
I literally would just glue Bubsy in there, and that's it. That's all I need.
I have Bubsy and it sucks ass, and I have 2 copies of Cybermorph. So 2 of my 5 games are the same game.
I would literally trade every game I have and just own the Bubsies on the multiple consoles and just be happy.
You might have some listeners take you up on that offer. Do you seriously like a Bubsy game? Is there one that you really enjoy?
The Super Nintendo one probably. I think
Was that the one that came out for Super Nintendo and Genesis?
Yeah.
Okay.
That first one.
Yeah.
Because I have fond memories of that one, and then Arrow the Acrobat was pretty good too.
So, a famous story, a friend of the show, Joel, who wrote our intro and outro song, he famously traded Arrow the Acrobat on Super Nintendo for Final Fantasy 3, I think, with somebody. As in, he gave up the Final Fantasy 3 and he received the Arrow the Acrobat.
I was about to say that's a win-win.
Nope. He was bemoaning that in 2002, 2003. He was pissed off about it, and that was 10 years after the trade. Now it's been 30 years. He's still furious.
Hey man, it happens. So.
I guess he thought he could get it back, or he beat it, or you never know. He traded shit, you know.
We had this conversation where I'm still mad at myself. I didn't pay $800 for that Read or Die. Now it's almost $3,000.
I couldn't believe that when you sent me that link. I was like, oh dear God.
Because they took it off. I can't watch it anymore.
How many episodes?
After 5 more days.
How many episodes ago was that we talked about it? It wasn't far.
I looked in my chat, and I think I sent you that eBay thing in December when it was $800, and I was like, this is crazy. And then now it's $2,500. I'm like, oh, I should have bought it at $800.
Panzer Dragoon anime. All right.
It's no way to legally watch in the United States anymore in 5 days. It's going away for good. So.
Make sure you make your copies now. Between now and then.
I'm streaming it right now as I go through it, and I remember how much I love that show. So.
Speaking of streaming videos, evidence is piling up that Netflix wants to be the Netflix of games. Good title, The Verge. This comes from Jay Peters. It could offer a games bundle as soon as 2022. That would be next year.
What? Is that next year?
I think so. It's coming up.
Yeah.
Well done.
We started the show.
I forgot to just.
We started the show in 2018. You realize that, right?
Yes. That's why we're in the 150-ish number.
Yeah.
160.
I don't keep track of the
You've told us.
We had this
you got close, Cesar.
So. Yeah.
Brent barely keeps up with it.
117. 7.
I knew we were in the hundreds.
Oh God! Look, it's like what was it, Iron Man? Like you don't even know your social security number. It was like 9. It's like there's more numbers of that. Remember?
Yeah.
Then that was his quote was like 7 or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
It might have been 7.
There's more numbers than that.
That's what Pepper was telling him. There's more than that. It's like 7.
So Reuters has corroborated the original story from The Information, saying a gaming exec is a planned hire at Netflix. They want to do something similar to Apple Arcade, which I enjoyed for all of a weekend and have not gone back to it, but it's still included in my thing. In a report published Monday, however, Axios shared more details from its own reporting, and Axios source said to think of the upcoming service, which would be offered to Netflix subscribers as a smaller Apple Arcade bundle that would include both licensed Netflix IP and games commissioned from indie studios. The service could be a ways out, though, possibly launching in 2022.
Hey man, it's just gonna get pushed back like everything else in game development right now. So
basically, they mentioned the stories that are tied up in Netflix, like Bandersnatch, You vs. Wild, and Stranger Things has had some games come out. I'm sure everyone wants to look into games, and the Netflix of games thing is kind of funny because Netflix has not done the Netflix of games thing. They'll have to show me something because I thought Google was really going to take over that space, and it just turned into not that. Like, remember when we first started hearing about Stadia, it was this. And Microsoft really is the leader of this so far, except for Nintendo's coming in hot with that 100+ online titles that you can... Oh, it was on their tweet today. I laughed again. I was like, oh, Jesus. Please don't switch.
They're very proud.
They're very proud of that 100+ titles.
Did they get to the point where people were just replying in tweets like Yabe? Just Yabe?
Oh, that's a nightmare.
Just tell them to stop. Just stop.
All right, did y'all want to add anything?
But there were a few other things I saw to this. A lot of it was talking about they were looking at maybe more along the lines of create your own adventure or choose your own adventure, kind of similar to what they have done with a few different shows on Netflix.
Like that Bandersnatch one.
Yeah, Bandersnatch, and gosh, there was something else.
Sure, it's not Is you sure it's not that reality show? What's that reality show called? Is it Vandersnatch or something like that? Vanderwatch or something like that? You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
But
You're on your own on
would
that
make
one. We can't
them.
bail you out. We're trying.
That would make it, yeah, just more like a point and click almost, or just like a visual novel esque kind of deal. So I mean, I don't know exactly how in depth into gaming they're even thinking they'll go, if they're gonna go
I
kind of the
found it.
Stadia or
Vanderpump Rules. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
Okay, now that you say that, that sounds familiar.
Yes.
I'd have to look it up though, because that name sounds familiar, but I'm not placing anything else in my mind.
All right. I'm sorry, Brent. I didn't mean to derail. Continue.
No, you're good. But yeah, I was just saying that I don't know if they'll give you a dedicated dongle and controller or something like Google has done, or another, Luna. Amazon's trying to do the same thing, and it seems like those guys are even both Amazon and Google are kind of slowing down on their first party stuff, and almost to the point of giving up on it and staying with third party studios.
Which
So
is no appeal to that platform unless you fit their mold of, like, somebody who's always on the go and doesn't have time for updates and always has good internet, and you fit that mold they need. Did anybody get the Luna? I got added to that program, but I never tried it or ordered the controller or anything.
no.
I've been hounded by Amazon, like, hey, you asked for this. And I'm like, so
I got the same thing.
I didn't do anything with it because I just don't. I don't have time to play the other consoles I got. So
It's true. I feel like I'm in the same boat.
this is me paying for service that I'm probably barely going to use. So
Yep. I tried that.
but it's not a wise investment for
I
me.
tried that trial on Stadia, and that was it. That was it for me. And then the Pro, you had to have Pro to have like 60 frames per second and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, this is just ridiculous. This barrier of entry is not. And the Stadia Pro games that they were giving out were just not. I won that one game of PUBG, and I played the demo of was it Phoenix Rising or something?
Yeah.
All right, next up, this was really cool. Comes from The Verge. A 20-year-old Xbox Easter egg has been revealed, and there may still be more. So basically, you kind of you try to rip a CD to the Xbox. It's in the main menu. We had the retail store that I worked at. We would load up all of our favorite songs on the store Xbox, and we'd play it while we were like opening and closing and stuff. So I wish I wasn't allowed to keep the Xbox when I got the standee, but it'd be kind of cool to have all those soundtracks. So anyways, what you can do...
So obviously you would play Closing Time at closing time, right?
Was that out when I was working retail? Brent, remember, you're a young buck.
That song was in the 90s, man.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm safe. I'm good.
Yeah. It's like, do you remember when that song came out, sir?
So my...
Geriatric millennial.
Yeah, man. We can only name two things from 90s bands. That's it. Just two.
Marcy, was it Marcy Star or Marcy's Playground?
Marcy's Playground, got Sex and Candy, and then Offspring.
And Offspring.
Two things.
Damn, Family Guy. All right, so basically, if you got a console, Kotaku notes, you can try it for yourself by ripping a CD as a soundtrack and calling it Timmy with 26 Ys. So it's basically you use the maximum, you type out Timmy, and you just do Y, and then you delete the last Y they let you put in there, and you change it to an exclamation mark. What that does after the rip is complete, and pick a short CD is what they mentioned. Go to the Xbox's settings, system info, and the screen will instead display the names of the people who worked on the dashboard. And those people should be mentioned now that 20 years later, their amazing feat has come to light. And the credit, of course, goes to Xbox dashboard team Victor Blanco, Sakpong Chanbai, Bradford Christian, and Jim Helm. And that is really, really cool. It's just a PC, so you knew something would be bound to be hidden in there like that. We made this, we're going to make it happen. Or is this like the new Justin Bailey code where somebody's fucking around and they just put Timmy in there? Timmy! And they put the exclamation point at the end. But how many other songs did they try before then? or names.
You got some genius out there just putting every name out
Yeah.
there and just putting every consonant or vowel at the very end and stretching it all the way through.
Johnny at symbol.
Yeah.
Stevie asterisk.
One of them relaunches Xbox Live so they can continue the Halo 2 run. So
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
back on the server,
Get to 'em.
on official server.
Get to them. I'm gonna hook up every Xbox I have. I'm gonna bring everybody over. No LAN party. We're just gonna enter all kinds of shit and rip CDs and see what we can get.
It also starts the Warhawk servers too while you're there.
Yes. Now we're talking. Oh, very cool stuff. Love how stuff like this is found out. Seamus Blackley, the creator, the designer of the Xbox, tweeted in 2017 there was still a hidden secret no one had found, but the one revealed Friday wasn't the one he was referring to, he told Kotaku, so there's still something in there. Thankfully, Blackley was kind enough to respond to a few queries about this. He confirmed that yes, the Xbox Easter egg he has in mind does in fact revolve around the boot animation and is not the Timmy secret we're revealing today, which he actually didn't know about. How cool is that? Break out your Xboxes.
So who knows what else could be hidden in there from different teams.
Start typing in names.
Reapply your capacitors.
What's that?
Reapply your capacitors.
Oh, take them out. When are we going to have our Xbox party? We keep talking about this, and I've got Xboxes exploding.
When it's already bleeding and dying.
They're already dead. They're already dying. All right, someone else talk about this Virtua Fighter for a while.
Yeah, this seems Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown was announced not too long ago. Coming out June 1st. The game was remade for new generation. They rebuilt the graphics using the Ryuga Gotoku Studios Dragon Engine, as well as new background music for every stage, a new user interface, and a new opening cinematic, and new lighting and shaders. This is all from Jimatsu from Sal Romano, the now Major League Baseball player. Players can also speculate online matches in real time, as well as build Robin style online tournaments. Private public lobbies that support 16 players, including communication tools like stamps. I guess that's quality of life stuff that's come from recent fighting games. Because remember, this came out in 2012. So to make a long story short, they're going to redo the graphics. It does look very similar to like a Yakuza type game. If you compare the previous two,
2012. I thought it was older than that.
It might. I think that's when the last reiteration of Virtua Fighter 5 came out. There was one probably 3 years prior to that when it was still doing arcades. I think that's going to be the biggest things from it. I mean, you can definitely see the difference graphically. You don't get it's less cartoony-ish and seems to be more realistic with the new models. I guess that's my biggest descriptor of it. Not that it was bad, but I think that's the easiest way to describe it too.
I'm excited to see how it looks.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have much on it. They haven't shown any gameplay outside of that one trailer, the announcement trailer, right?
No, nothing yet.
This has been teased for a long time, though, right?
And this is like did they say it was a timed exclusive or?
No, this might be one of those ones that I think Sony paid for, because it's tied up in their PlayStation Plus. We'll bring that up later. Because that's going to be a part of PlayStation Plus for 2 months, I think, until August, and then it's also coming on PS Now. So they're adding it to the PS Now service as well for people who don't have PlayStation Plus. I don't know how that makes sense, but whatever. So so PlayStation's really pushing this one, so they're hoping those player counts for online will be up there since it seems like they're doing that in every region. Everybody's getting a copy of Virtua Fighter 5, so who knows how long it's going to be exclusive. There's no confirmation for PC version because I know a lot of people were clamoring for that as well. So it could be time to who knows.
Which we may be getting Uncharted for PC. I know that's not news, but that's heavily rumored.
Yeah, I think that
got brought up by Jim Ryan's headset. So.
The investor call with Jim Ryan and his Pulse Elite that he had to pay the scalpers. He couldn't get one from Amazon.
But also Sony's partnership with Evo, that fighting game tournament is probably has a little bit to do with this as well.
That's a good note. I'm gonna try this out. I suck at fighting games, but I've been craving a Virtua Fighter or a Dead or Alive or something.
I mean that one's a 3D arena, so if you like Dead or Alive or
Soul Calibur,
Tekken, Soul Calibur isn't along those lines. It's a good one too. It's a very well balanced fighter. It's probably the last good one they had on there. I don't know if Yu Suzuki worked on that one. He might have right before he left. It was way back there, like '09. He might have started it, but they may not have done the final versions on there, the final showdown.
What are the Yakuza? What are the Yakuzas? What are the Virtua Fighters that are available in Yakuza? Is it this one? The earlier version?
5, yeah. Yeah, 5 is on there. If you go into the previous ones, I think maybe 3 might have been one of them. I don't quote me on it. I don't want to say it. Maybe not Team Battle. Maybe 4. I can't remember. 3's Team Battle, right?
Yes, TB. Yeah. They called it TB. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Virtua Fighter TB.
It's weird. I remember that, but I can't remember anything from the quadratic formula. That's bullshit. Whatever. More important stuff.
A little bit of Virtua Fighter lore. We didn't grow up a Sega household, so by the time we had a 64, we started filling in that back catalog. My brother decided he was going to be the guy who collected the Sega stuff. So as we got a Genesis and a Dreamcast and a Saturn and stuff like that, and there were 8 versions of Virtua Fighter 2. It's how many Virtua Fighters we're going to get and try out? It's these on cartridge pretty much look like shit. I guess we have to skip to the Saturn one before we have a Virtua Fighter that starts looking halfway decent. And we liked the one for PS2. We liked the one for Dreamcast. So I think they really hit their stride at that point. The other ones were just they were big polygon showcases. I remember when 3D gaming was first becoming a thing, and those were the character models that you would see, and it's wow, it's a fighter that's actually, you can see the cameras rotating and all that kind of stuff. And then it seemed like they got eclipsed so quickly by both DOA and Tekken. Tekken just took off, and to me that was the 3D fighter for a long time. And Virtua Fighter has its it has its strengths, but as far as market share, I think they definitely slipped behind a little bit after being the premier 3D fighter for so long.
Yeah, and also, I know I've talked about this on the show, and I've told you before, Richard, if you get a chance, watch High Score Girl. So that whole bit where he goes through those generations when they go from arcade to Sega Saturn to PlayStation, seeing those 3D polygons, and how excited that the main protagonist in that show gets over that stuff and just fawns over this, you can do this with this one. And he's sitting there deciding, am I gonna get the Sega Saturn or get the PlayStation? And he's sitting there, he bought the Sega Saturn. He's his friend she was gonna loan him the PlayStation, and he felt like he was cheating on the Saturn. All that console bias was all in that show, man. That show was great. It's that time in the early '90s when that excitement from the generational jumps we used to see that we don't get as much as we used to.
That's true. And those two consoles played a lot of the similar games. They had a lot of the same third-party type games, but they were very definitely, especially looking back now, one is a 2D fighter box and the other is a powerhouse 3D fighter box. They definitely have their strengths as far as that goes.
And there's one bit on that show where he has no sway with women. He doesn't understand them at all. So one of his friends gave him a Tokay Memorial dating simulator game. It's play this. This is how you learn about women. And he just failed on every route. Just he would choose all the wrong options, and they were beating him in the head. You don't get it at all. He's I don't understand. He's just sitting there I don't understand. This game is dumb. Oh man,
that's pretty good.
The show is good, man. He has these two girls fighting for his affection, and he's oblivious. He just thinks he want to play games, and it's it's a deeper meaning. He's oblivious to it all.
Totally clueless.
Speaking of fighting for your affection,
and being clueless.
Valve is apparently trying to break into the handheld market. Segways.
You suck as bad at them as I do.
Yeah. It's a machine that you ride on.
They're a thing.
Pedal.
They're a thing.
So yeah, apparently there's this rumored handheld, and of course this article from The Verge notes that Steam did try to have Steam machines not too long ago.
It's been nearly a decade. How has it been that long? That's crazy.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
That's crazy. Wow.
But
time flies, man. But I feel like GameStop just had them available for sale.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like that long ago. It really didn't.
And the controllers, because they just clearanced the controllers. So I guess now it's been 3 years or so.
Yeah, they clearance those a year ago, 2 years now.
Yeah,
I was not here, so I know it was longer than a year.
They are they're damn good controllers, so they are damn good.
You're a fan?
Yes, I regret not buying 4. I would have bought 10.
It's now your number one controller.
Yeah, it's it gives you for PC at least, it gives you haptic feedback on those circular
the dials or
dentures
whatever
they have on there.
Pads,
Yeah.
things.
So,
Yeah.
which are similar to using the mouse. So you can actually, I prefer that than using a mouse. So it's similar to using like a trackball mouse, where I got more comfortable using that on the controller than I have been using a mouse, and they're like swinging my arm all over the place. When I can just do a couple swipes with my thumb and go across the
I
screen.
saw RTSs and stuff were great like that, like with moving a cursor around and stuff. It was way more natural.
It is very well built. I was impressed. So
it's cool.
I don't like the Steam Link, which is, it's okay.
But there have been apparently multiple rumors from multiple sources saying Valve is working on a device that is a touchscreen, touchpad buttons, triggers, dual analog sticks, apparently to run, likely to run Linux, and will support a array of specially optimized Steam titles. And here's the thing: is there's actually some of these things out on the market. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Chinese company GPD, or have seen their product, the GPD Win. But they sell these things, huh?
I said go on.
So they sell these things that are complete PCs, that are in a clamshell design. The latest, or I guess technically last year's model, let me just read you some of the specs. So it has Windows 10 Home on it, Intel Core i5, 16 gigs of GDR, or 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. Okay. It's only got about 512 SSD replaceable storage, and it does have a micro SD slot.
Expandable. The
display was 8 inches, which was 1280 by 800 or 16 by 10, and it was a 10-point touch screen. Intel Iris Plus graphics. It has face buttons, D-pad, shoulder buttons, clickable analog stick, even has like a trackpad and everything. Wi-Fi.
Is that meant for streaming, or is that meant for? I mean, you're not gonna play. You're gonna play like PUBG on low settings and stuff.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it even has a bunch of connectivity issues, or not issues, but connectivity.
Way to sell it, Brent. Variety. Where can I buy one?
Sign me up.
Of connectivity, like ports.
That's what I want. Troubleshooting problems constantly, even when I play games. Let's go.
Brent, why would they advertise this? Please read the section that says connectivity issues. What are people encountering? What are they advertising that we're gonna come up with?
Let's see. It's got USB 3.1, Type A, Thunderbolt 3, USB-C, HDMI out. And of course a headphone jack. It's got like 3 500 milliamp lithium ion batteries that are running in series. And you'd be surprised. I've seen people run Grand Theft Auto, things like Overwatch.
Grand Theft Auto 1, the top down one.
5 actually. There's I mean,
it's a PS3 game, so
yeah.
And I mean, you wind up you wind up having to do a few things on the back end to get a few games up and running, but it can handle them surprisingly well. The main problem people have with them, because they are a Chinese company, some of the build quality is like or the triggers may feel a little wobbly, but overall, I mean, how much do you think a machine like that would cost? Because you have the Switch selling, what, $299 for the Lite, and then $399.
Sound like a PlayStation announcement.
$299, just walk off.
And $399. But this machine is around 1,300. So, I mean, if Valve is planning to do something that is a portable gaming PC that can handle, let's just say they want it to handle a majority of the Steam library, to entice people, um, it's gonna have to be pretty hefty, and that might also come at a higher cost.
Right.
And I mean, I can see why they're doing it, because most people that have a gaming PC also say that they buy a Switch just because they enjoy the portability. And I mean, even most console gamers will have either an Xbox or a PlayStation and a Switch,
Right.
just because, again, they enjoy that portability. It makes everything more convenient. So it makes sense why they would try to get into it, but also it's like, can it at this point be done effectively and, cost effectively as well?
Is it the portability? All right. I'm gonna play devil's advocate just for this conversation bit. Is it the portability, or is it the Nintendo factor? Because for like 3 or 4 generations, people have had a Switch or a Wii or a GameCube for the Nintendo titles. Like it's not their primary console that they'll play, the majority of third-party releases, or that they're gonna maybe tend to buy more day one launch games on. But they'll have it for the Marios and the Zeldas and the Metroids and they used to have it for F-Zero, but not anymore. But those type titles, is it
or Star Fox or Metroid?
Yeah, I put Metroid in there, and basically that also belongs in the same category. Is it the portability factor? You think that's the major sway there?
Or Fatal Frame?
I mean,
worth buying a Wii U
definitely their highest sellers are their first party. Nintendo's are.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, you also have things that are popular on there like Skyrim. I mean, Skyrim's most people, when they saw that first announcement and saw, the guy playing Skyrim on the airplane on the Nintendo Switch, when they revealed it, they were like, "Oh, now I've got to have that if it can play Skyrim." So I mean, there's other draws to it because, and I mean, it has such a vast library as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it also has a lot of shovelware because it seems like it's extremely easy to get your game published on their eShop, but
a lot more people still play indie titles on there. More indie titles are bought on the Switch and on PC or anything else. So.
Even though they dropped that banner for some
I don't
reason.
know if I say indies, I would say indies, because not all indies are indies quality.
True.
So,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of games that come out, like at least if you go on there every Tuesday, there's about 30, 35 games that come out on that are independent games. So
independent games, that's what we're going to go with.
But to Brant's words, if you can develop hardware enough that makes it play your PC games, your third-party games on there, it will do well. Because there's a market for that for everybody. Whether or not it's going to be enough for everybody to get into it, I don't know. So, or enough for the PC console market or the master race they call themselves to actually purchase it, I don't know. So, it's a good test. But typically, anything with PC base, you always come in high mark. That's what they are known to sell for.
Right,
so.
right. They have to hit that top tier.
It's either going to be top tier or it's going to be enough to bring in people that is not top tier, the average consumer. So it's going to be one of the two, nothing in the middle.
Do you think it's a Valve product, or do you think it's like you have what you had with the Steam machines, where you have Asus and you have Dell and you have those makers?
I wouldn't be surprised if they went with HTC like they did with their VR headsets. So, I would not be surprised and use something similar to NVIDIA SoC socket on controller chipset. So,
alrighty, look forward to your Valve Switch later on next year. Lames with gold. Who wants to run down this list? Quick.
Nobody. Need Microsoft.
Really quick. Let's see. June 1st through the 30th, you're getting the King's Bird.
Of course you are.
The 16th, June 16th through July 15th.
Colonel Sanders.
Shadows.
Colonel Sanders is like, this is the
Colonel Sanders.
The KFC dating simulator. Hey, so I'm gonna play. You play devil's advocate in the last bit. I'm gonna play devil's advocate in this
Please
one.
God, do it with
That
the King's Bird. Go ahead.
no, not Kingsbird.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell fuck that is, and I'll never know. I'll probably add it to my download list and then just never play it
Okay.
like everything else in my life. So you know how I feel about Diablo-esque games, but Shadows Awakening is a very Diablo-esque game. It's up there with our Vikings. Apparently, they're just going to keep doing Diablo
There's
clones
always
at
one.
Xbox.
There's always one sleeper hit in the Xbox lames with gold. I will give them that. It's never like this title that you're just gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe we get this for free. It's always gonna be one sleeper title with good mechanics that just never got the publicity it needed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have Shadows Awakening on PS4, and I've played some time in it. It's very much a Diablo clone.
Pretty good.
So. Yeah,
Solid
yeah,
title.
you know how I feel about Diablo clones. I'll pop it in there, and if I don't have time to invest in something, I'll play the fuck out of Diablo's clone.
Right.
So
Cesar mentioned the second game. The third one is Neo Geo Battle Coliseum.
also a personal favorite of mine.
All the best fighters
will take
await.
that.
Is that the best title out of this collection this month?
Me personally, yes. Most people will argue and say the vanilla version of Injustice is a big FU.
That's the first game, right?
It's the first game, and then it was made free for everybody earlier in the year, and then 2, it does not include all the DLC, which you have to buy separately with all the additional characters.
And this is the 360 version. And didn't they come out with an Xbox One port? But we're getting the 360 one.
No, there was a PS3, and then PS4 had the exclusive on the port for whatever reason.
Okay.
So yeah, they never officially came out with an Xbox One version. I think they just introduced it backwards compatibility. That was it after a while.
That makes sense.
But you never know. We might get improvements afterwards. So.
All right. Those are your 4 games: Kingsbird, Shadows Awakening, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, and Injustice: Gods Among Us. Among Us. You get Among Us free with Games with Gold. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Wolf Among Us.
Among Us backwards.
You can have Gods Among Us, Wolf Among Us, or Among Us. Or Fungus Among Us.
I'd just rather buy Among Us.
Like a mongoose, like the creature?
No, just Among Us.
You want to buy Among Us?
Yes.
The game?
Yes.
Okay. All right, your PlayStation Plus games.
Well done, sir. You tricked us all. Well done.
Your PlayStation Plus games with PlayStation Plus Gold, whatever they call that. You're going to get Operation Tango. That's your PlayStation 5 title. For all, what was it, 5 million now? PlayStation 5 owners. Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, which we just previously expounded upon. And Star Wars Squadrons, which has been heavily rumored recently and is now confirmed. These will all be available Tuesday, June the 1st. What is Operation Tango? Does anyone know anything about this?
I mean, if you start reading about it, to me, I was like, what the heck was this?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started reading, it says something about a cooperative spy adventure challenging you and a friend join up online, complete dangerous missions across the globe in a high-tech near-future world. I was like, as soon as I read that, I remember seeing something about this in one of their presentations, but it just kind of was one of those titles where it was the lull of the presentation.
Right. Like they worked this title in at some point.
Yeah. Because when I saw that, I said, "What the heck is that?" And then as I read and looked, and I was okay, I kind of remember this. So I mean, and you're not losing anything by downloading it and trying it.
Nope.
Yeah, my favorite was somebody on Twitter said the game was garbage, and then somebody responded, "The game's not even out yet." So
yeah, the game's not out.
So
how do you know? How do you know it's garbage?
Yeah.
Game's garbage. So again, it seems like we're getting like a brand new title with PlayStation Plus. They seem to be, going down that avenue. Well, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown is a new title, and then Star Wars Squadrons, which when they first released it, they weren't gonna add anything to it, and they just started adding free content to it. So they've supported that game since it came out, thankfully. So another strong month of PlayStation Plus, and again, like I keep talking about these avenues that platforms go and such, it seems like you almost have to be a Game Pass subscriber to get good Xbox games that are quote unquote free every month, versus PlayStation Plus is giving you a premier title every month at least. So it seems to me, you guys can correct me if you feel otherwise.
Sure.
Because we got Destruction All Stars, we got Soulstorm. We're getting Virtua Fighter and this new Operation Tango, which looks like a quality title. It doesn't look like it's just some agreement that Xbox just they're not great, but Game Pass titles are continue to be incredible as they come out. As we see the platforms diverge from each other. All right, anything else y'all want to add in news? Are we humming along here? What are we looking at?
Yeah, I think
The
so.
stream's been up for an hour, but we've been recording.
Super Bomberman R Online is now available, though.
There we go.
20 minutes.
On your other platforms
Stadia.
like PSN and Steam and Xbox.
Time to trade in the Stadia. That was the one thing keeping me.
No.
Go.
That was the Stadia exclusive, wasn't it?
It's one thing.
Yes, it was.
Hey, I have a perfect record on PUBG Stadia. I'm never getting rid of Stadia. It's my preferred PUBG platform.
It's okay. You won't get rid of Stadia, but it'll get rid of you. So give it time.
It did get rid of me, and it's my Chromecast and all that is unhooked. Game of the year last year was trying to hook up Google Stadia and get it running.
Gosh.
It should never have been that involved.
It's a puzzle game.
It basically was.
Is that a Strand type game?
Oh no, I felt stranded. Strange genre games. Oh man, I was watching an old Giant Bomb where they were describing Death Stranding and watching that E3 or Sony started branching off and doing it wasn't State of Play, it was like Play Days or something. It was whatever they started calling those E3 presentations. They had Kojima up there. And it was a Giant Bomb video where it's a Giant Bomb reacts and Kojima's like, you see that mountain? You can climb that mountain. And they're just like, we give up. We fucking give up. And then the character, the Norman Reedus character is urinating. Sam Porter is urinating. And Kojima's making such a big deal. You know how God bless him. We got to have him in this industry. But he's describing like no matter how you move the camera, you can't see it is what he's saying. He's like anywhere you urinate, you can't see it. And they're just you see Gersman's just clapping like this. No, that was the part when Sam Porter Bridges is in the bases that you can get to, and he's like, all right, now we're gonna go to the bathroom and do a number one, and Jeff's just like he's clapping. It's like,
yeah,
this isn't a video game. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what we always wanted.
Oh man,
Conquer did it first.
All right, games played. Played some Halo, of course. Same thing, same people, same modes, same chaos. Mass Effect. I'm at the end of the first Mass Effect, I believe. I've landed on a planet where I have chased Saren to. I've done all the little side mission thing. I haven't done all the side missions. I've done all the story side missions that lead you to chasing Saren down. So I did the one on Pharos, and I did the mission on God, what was that planet? I'm never good with names like this.
So, are you in Ilos or you're past Ilos?
I'm on Ilos now. I just landed on Ilos, the jungle, and I saved right there because Saren saw me coming after.
The jungle.
Am I close to the end?
Yes, you probably in the final stretch right now. Perfect. Depending on where you're at in Ilos. You just got on Ilos.
I just landed.
How far?
The Mako dropped me off, and Saren saw me land, and he closed some temple thing.
Probably got an hour in Ilos, and then you go to your next area, spoilers, and then you have your final boss battle with spoilers, and that's it.
Close.
That's pretty much
it.
The
game is so fucking good, man. And it's not, like I talked about last week, I won't expound on that, and Cesar dove deep into the story with us, but you can see the areas. It's almost like you can see a storyboard breaking down. Like, here's how we want to play in this game. We're going to have a mission. We're going to have some back and forth, like find out, ask this dialogue tree with this character, and then go back across the map to this character, and then go back there with this answer, and then go back there with this answer, and progress the story that way. And it's these big open areas that they didn't seem to like really know what to do with. There's some NPCs that you can interact with and such, but you can see that it's an early next gen title at that point where they're just rendering these areas. It still has plenty of atmosphere. I love being with my teammates. All the story missions are interesting as shit. Like every single one just carries this weight, and I'm like, oh god, what do I pick? Who do I try to? Thank God for Cesar for giving me the advice to do the charm thing last week when he mentioned dump all your points into charm so you can get these. There's like a whole dialogue tree with a bunch of important decisions that I never would have had. I never would have had that option.
I killed so many people. I killed so many people because I didn't do that route.
So I had charm, and I didn't. I thought I could talk a certain character out. Spoilers. I thought I could talk a certain character out of doing something, and the weight behind the characters in Mass Effect is nothing. Nothing is cheap. The only cheap thing that I felt was the racist character, and I made sure she died. So she's out of the picture. But everyone has weight behind them. Like there's a character who was genetically modified as a youngster, and he has like headaches, and there's things that go off. He has side effects, and I'm like, man, they fucked with you. I feel bad for you. And there's another character whose race, another race that you meet in the game, they have created something that causes this race to not be able to populate. They thought they were doing some kind of population control, and they can't.
Genophage.
Yeah, they can't reproduce. And so the mission I was on, this guy's like, if you don't let us, Shepard, if you don't side with us, they're gonna wipe out our race. And I'm like, yeah, I believe you. And all my dialogue choices were like, we have to stick with the mission. I'm like, no, I don't want this. So as I'm going through it, I actually picked the wrong thing because I thought I was guiding the conversation one way. And then all of a sudden, the racist character is behind this other character, and she kills him.
Boom,
I'm like,
you hear the music. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm like, no.
You heard the dun, 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 right? Because I'm sitting there, it happened to me out of nowhere. It's like, dun, dun, dun.
I know.
I'm like,
what happened? I was like, I liked this guy. I like this guy way more than you. You suck. So
Rex is awesome, man. He's in.
It's Rex.
If he keeps him alive, then he's in all the Mass Effects. So it's the same thing that people used to say about Final Fantasy VI. It is a crime to leave Shadow behind. It's a crime to leave Rex behind.
Yeah. So on that note, because I do really like this character, and even though I thought I could back down his dialogue choices, I had the charm one unlocked. I just didn't select it because I thought I could go the right path. So when she killed him, and I don't like her at all, she's still in my party at this point. I kind of choose choose your own adventure. I backed out of that save and reloaded the save and chose the charm option that Cesar had told me.
It's called scumming.
That's straight scumming. Okay. And every conversation since then where that charm one has come up, I have fucking used because it is basically a cheat code for every conversation. You will get the best outcome. I'm playing
Paragon. You get fucking Paragon every time.
Yeah, I'm playing Paragon. I'm getting like massive points every time I pick the charm one. Mm-hmm. I talk somebody out of anything. Whatever they've decided they want to do, if I hit that option, they're like, you know what, you're right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with what you decided. And I got some backstory from Liara's mom. That side mission was great. There was a Arachne. There was this whole race. There was another race of like these spider things, and I had to decide whether they live or die.
The Arachne.
Yeah. And the queen was
The
queen was talking through this dead person. It was fucking great. This game's amazing.
Sorry. Yeah. It's like those Star Trek ones. Remember when they used to do that to Star Trek characters in some of those episodes? I don't know if it was the Borg. Was the Borg did that? I can't remember who did that.
Is it the Borg? Because that's Next Generation. I know they did it in Independence Day. Remember they picked up that dude and the alien stuck him up against the glass?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But man, the story guides this. Like I was saying, you can see the early next gen things where you have like, all right, we're gonna have this open area, and then we're gonna have the Mako, and then we're gonna have the shooting section, and there's some verse in there, but the all encompassing like lore and story and the weight of the characters and everything, I get it now. Like Mass Effect's always been on my list of shame. I've started that game so many times, and I get it now. I get why people freak out about it, and they're so attached to characters and stuff. I was chatting with Joker in the Normandy and got his whole backstory. He's like disabled and stuff, and he's the best pilot in the fleet and stuff, and it's incredible, man. What a game. I'm close to the end. Probably going to Mass Effect 2. All I hear is great things from Cesar. I remember when it came out and Cesar was raving about it.
Mass Effect 2 is the pinnacle one, so that's just my personal opinion.
And you said there's one DLC I need to play after I beat this. Is there a new game plus? Do I go straight into DLC when I beat the game?
I think it's already available to go through there. The DLC is like 5 hours long. I don't think it pertains to the main villain organization in the second one. I think that organization, if I remember correctly, I was wrong.
So I don't have to do it. I can go straight into 2.
It's another side quest. When you start scanning planets, you'll come across their compound.
Okay.
So you're familiar with them, and you know how bad they are, and why you working for them causes issues in the second game. It kind of has that type of weight. But I don't remember off the top of my head. I think for me, it was random.
I think I've heard the name. I've heard the name. Cerberus, yeah. I've heard the name. Yeah. I scanned something somewhere.
They're they are a pro-human faction where they try to further humanity in the universe by any means necessary, basically. Yeah.
I did the mission with the Thorian. It was like this plant thing that can take over people's minds, and it was taking over this whole
on Cloud City.
It was taking over this whole colony. Each one of these missions, like these story levels, has been like a Star Trek episode. It's just great sci-fi. It's god tier sci-fi. It's not great sci-fi. So that's my Mass Effect experience, and then it was myself and my kids for the past like 4 days. It was just us. And they got back on their Shrek kick, and no, it wasn't Shrek. They wanted to play Crash Bandicoot, so they have a thing for Crash Bandicoot, Wrath of Cortex, the true Crash Bandicoot 4, not Brant's Game of the Year 2020.
Not 20 Sanity.
No, not 20 Sanity. So they played a little bit of that. They got bored with that. Well, they didn't get bored with that. As they're sitting there, they're sitting on the floor in one of my gaming areas. And they look over and they see Just Dance. They're like, "Dad, let's play the dance game again." So we've only played Just Dance Kids, I think, and Just Dance 3 for the Wii and the 360. So I have Just Dance 4. So I was like, let's try this one out. It's going to have new songs, all this kind of stuff. This is Game of the Year quality material right here. They balled out with Just Dance 4. They played this game for probably 2 hours the other night. So the great thing about it, first off, if you're going to play Just Dance, I don't know how the new ones work, but we have it for the 360. We have it with the Kinect, so they don't have to have their own remote. The big thing with the Wii remote thing was each person has to have a Wii remote so it tracks their score and all that kind of stuff. You can have up to 4 player on the Kinect, and it tracks their things just by moving, just by the camera, right? So the best thing about it is they're both playing, they're loving the songs. Ricky Martin's Livin' La Vida Loca is the household favorite, and I forgot how fucking good that song is. The song is a straight banger, by the way. I've been humming it all week. And at the end of each song on Just Dance 4, you have the option to create like a greatest hits clip. And it will do almost, and it takes a minute to render. You have to tell it okay, and it probably takes 60 seconds, a minute and a half. And it gives you this video of like these highlights of maybe some crazy moves or something like that. And they are so funny to play back and watch. Almost, I know everybody that had a Kinect, they had Kinect Adventures, right? And it would take a picture every time you did something crazy, like on the rafts and stuff. And you would get these weird like images and stuff. And you'd go back and laugh at them afterwards where everybody's jumping in the air. Like it knows when to take the images. And this one has video clips that it puts to the music. And they're gold, man. I was in tears. I was streaming. I was sending videos to people and FaceTiming them and showing them like them jumping around and doing all that kind of stuff. And it was hilarious. We had so much fun with it. The Kinect is. I sent it to Cesar. Cesar said the Kinect is still a hit. It's good, man. They did when the Kinect had good content, and this is one of them. And we will still be playing this game for a while now. It's probably going to stay in that 360 out there in that living room. And when they hit on the Kinect, it was quality stuff. So this is one of them. Highly recommend. I've got to look through what other games I have. I can't remember what Dance Central did, but a couple of the ones that we tried with Dance Central, they weren't as accessible for the kids that they really enjoyed. So I've got to see what other dance games they have for the Kinect for the 360 that they'll enjoy. But that one is just... it's hilarious, man. I was in tears just watching them do it. And it's such a fun party game, and it got them moving. They were already tired from the day, so I have no clue how they kept it up for 2 hours. And then we went upstairs.
It's youth, man. It's youth, you know that.
It's youth, but we went upstairs, and they did not make it to the rooms. They both passed out on the couch that night. It's like they didn't even make it all the way upstairs.
Yeah,
That was
buddy.
great. And that is for me, Halo Master Chief Collection, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and Just Dance 4 for the Xbox 360 and the Kinect camera. I guess they called it. What did they call that? It was just Kinect, or was it like Kinect?
I think it was just a Kinect.
Wireless camera accessory.
I think it was just Connect. I can't remember. I don't remember it being called anything else.
Cheap
Xbox.
Cheap thrills, man, and they sold a shit ton of 360s. So if you can get a 360, I mean, Mass Effect's a 360 game, right? If you can get a 360 PS3, there's still so many games from that generation that hold up. Plenty of good titles. Oh, that's my game.
Unless you play Dishonored on PS3.
Don't play Dishonored. Don't play BioShock Infinite, or is that version okay?
BioShock Infinite. I don't remember having that many issues with it.
Skyrim's decent. On 360, I wouldn't play Skyrim on PS3.
Skyrim is not good on PS3. Nope. But it's funny you mentioned Kinect because Skyrim did have Kinect.
You could shout at the camera.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 3
was it also
too.
Draw stuff too, or something like that?
Could you throw things? I thought it was just the voice commands.
I don't remember. I remember.
I could have sworn you can do draw arrows and shit like that.
Man, fuck Spike Lee.
Quick reloads. Wait, what? Oh yeah, this guy.
It's a Knicks thing. Sorry, it's sports.
Yeah.
I appreciate Spike Lee the person. Fuck Spike Lee the Knicks fan.
Orange and blue skies. Look at him. He's almost passed out over there. All right. For me, it's easy. I beat Mass Effect 2. I platinumed it. I did everything that could be done in that game. It took me 37 hours.
It's a masterpiece, right?
It's still the best. The one is good. Don't get me wrong. That was the first time I went through one when I completed it. The story is good. The one has got a great story. And I mentioned it before last week. I mean, the character development is great on that. 2 for 1 if you look for it. And if you don't look for it, you won't get it. You have to look for it in that game. 2, like I mentioned before, it is more streamlined. It plays more third person on the shoulder, a little bit more like Gears. So you can see the influences they had from the first game and where they kind of shrunk it down a little bit. So you don't have as much exploration as you did in the first game. It's kind of more laser focused to help with the action and kind of pull you into the story better. And I think it's the perfect balance, in my personal opinion. I do miss some of that exploration in the first game, but you don't have that bullshit Mako stuff where you land on a planet and it gives you the map
around this
and
huge horseshoe.
Gives you like points of interest, and it could be anything in those fucking points of interest. And depending on those points of interest, it could lead you to further story stuff.
Do you still have so riddle me this, because there's been a couple firefights in Mass Effect 1. Like, I'm playing through the story, right? And there's some story bits that they're going to go one way or the other, and I don't want them to go the route that they do. So there was a mission where I had been helping this group of humans that were fighting. Was that the Thorian? No, that was the Rechni Queen. And then all of a sudden they turned on me, and I'm like, I didn't pick this. I don't know if this is the story or if I have to kill them, but here I am. All of a sudden I'm having to kill these people, and it's like, I didn't pick this. Does it force you into a lot of those type things?
Did you kill the whole settlement? Well, all right. So
there's 2 I know the one you're talking about. I killed 4 people in that one because I ran out of grenades. The Thorian mission. The other one was the one with the Rachni Queen.
No, the one I'm talking about with the Rachni Queen, I didn't kill anybody in that one. So there's a point in there where you talk to Nasari, who just got on the station, and she's very vague and very standoffish to you. And so when you go in there's a medical base. So if you go in there into the story, there's a kind of infection that's happening to the people there, and they're in the med bay. It's part of that attack. Yeah. So when you go in there and talk to the doctor, he tells you like, hey, this area is quarantined. If you go in there, you can get the cure, bring it to me, and I'll save these people. So when you go into this area,
I didn't do it. I missed that totally.
You have to build the vaccine, and then when you come out, the sorry woman you talk to is actually an agent for the matriarch, and she tries to kill you. And she kills the Tyrion guard there.
I never got that whole story. I never got that bit. That's amazing.
So I apologize. I didn't mean to ruin it for you.
No, I'm sure there's a bunch of side stories that I missed.
So once I did that, I was able to cure the whole colony that was there, and nobody attacked me at the end. So I never had that issue where anybody attacked me. So I don't know if they eventually went crazy and they tried to attack you, or they were mad that you let the Rachni Queen in there.
I got to a point, and the captain, the captain that's like defending the air vents or whatever, I got to a point where I came back to him. He's like, "I'm sorry, we have to kill you, Shepard." And they all start shooting at me. I'm like, "What the fuck? I've been trying to protect you people. What happened? I didn't choose this. I didn't want you to die because I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm playing on easy. You're gonna die. I'm gonna headshot you."
There's hard choices, and like there's one on in the second game, and that I end up killing a whole galaxy, 300,000 Batarians, and there was not a choice. It was either let them die or let something worse come through, and those ramifications carried over in the third game. As I come in there, I was standing trial for that shit.
Heavy.
Yeah. The only way for you to get around that story bit is just don't do that mission. I think it's one of the extra missions. So
damn, that's heavy as shit, man.
But yeah, the second game is
so great.
You still get the whole Milky Way universe. You still go through different star clusters. You go to individual planets, and like I said before, they'll give you a brief story description of those planets, like a brief history, like it's like similar to this Earth planet or blah blah blah. And each one's different if you want to read it. So each one has a scanner, and then you can scan that area and get mine for elements. Those elements you use for upgrades. The upgrades are what you use to upgrade your weapons and get additional damage, additional defense, or whatnot. I'm not going to go into much details about it. You can use that to upgrade your additional characters you get in that game. So it's some of those, when you do scan, you'll find missions on those planets. So it's not every planet, but it does get a little mundane when you have to go and scan every planet for resources to do certain upgrades, because you need to hit a certain amount. Like I need element 0 for fucking everything, and it's impossible to find element 0. It's like that kind of thing. So like you have to scan every fucking planet to find every available version of element 0 that you can find.
I'm scanning in the first game, so they totally upped that scanning game in the second one?
It's completely different.
Okay.
Like you land on that Mako. Or you know, when you do the scan on that first game, you just kind of just scan the planet and it just gives you information.
Yeah, I'm not really scanning. I'm just kind of looking
something
at it. I'm inspecting it, you know.
So when you do the scanning in the second game, you literally have it's tied to your L2 button. You have to press it down, and you have a reticle that it's like a bullseye that you have to go across the whole planet and just scan until you get a graph. And the graph tells you like there's a lot of this element up here. It goes up and then it goes down and it goes up, and then you have to send a probe when it's at the highest to mine that element.
That sounds like
it's not as bad as it sounds.
Okay.
You'll see when it gets on there, it can be addictive just going through there and scanning it. So as you travel through the clusters of the universe, when you go to different galaxies, you have fuel. You have to purchase fuel, so you have to watch your money. So you have like maybe 750 fuel units. So depending on each galaxy you go through, it uses up fuel. You have to buy the probe, so you get 30 probes. So if you get on a good planet and you're getting a lot of good shit and you run out of probes, then you got to go all the way back and buy more probes. It's like that kind of bullshit. You're like, fuck, I got to leave and go back. So it's like kind of that bullshit on it. It's not bad,
Sounds
but
like
it is
gotcha
after a while you're over it. So I'm sorry, Brent.
It sounds like a gotcha mechanic.
Yeah, it's not bad, but after a while you get over it. I don't want to go into too much detail because you haven't played it yet, Richard, and hopefully you'll get there. The cast of characters in there are great. This is the most complete version on there. There's 2 characters in there that were originally tied to DLC that are some of the best story beats in there. That sucks because we never probably would have got them. Should I give names or just leave it be and let you discover them with the names?
Let me discover.
I don't want to name characters. Okay.
Gracias.
So as you play this game, you'll notice that maybe one character from the first game carries over into your team.
Okay.
From the first game, and you get interactions with some of your other characters, actually the rest of your team in the second game, but they don't actually join you. So there's one character I miss deeply, but that person has finally joined my team in the third game. Outside of that, each one of those characters are well balanced. So each one has biotics for different techniques, like they can use it for a bomb blast. They can do my favorites are lift ones, where I can disable gravity and lift them up in the air and just shoot them as they're flying in the air.
Oh.
I mentioned last week that they switched the weapons to bullets, not the recharge, which is fine. It takes a minute to get used to because, like you said, Richard, it's easier for you just to take cover and let it recharge versus me running and screwing around the map.
Because I'm a sniper.
Because yeah, at this point, welcome to the Resident Evil Mass Effect. So you're scrambling for bullets. The bullets are more plentiful in the third game, but I'll get into that one. So as you go through, the second game kind of compels you. I know the first game, after a while, you get a good bit and story bit. The second game kind of compels you to go through everything. So each character you come up with, I mentioned it last week. You get a new character. They each have a loyalty mission that makes you
what
makes
is a
them loyal to
loyalty
you.
mission? I keep seeing that online too.
So it's important to get the best ending in the game. They assign a point system, which is the weirdest fucking thing in the world. It's like the Super Nintendo RPG games back in the day, where you have to do certain things at a certain point level to get your whole team to survive. If you don't, then you'll have main characters die off, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. So when you play this game, you have to remember these three things. So
you saved me with the charm on the first one, so I'm all ears on this one.
So this one, you recruit every character you can. Every character you recruit, you have conversations on the ship. They will give you an option to recommend Normandy upgrades. You'll have to get the resources from mining those planets and upgrade this ship. If you don't, in the final battle, the areas you don't upgrade, they'll blast open and they'll kill characters that are hanging out down there permanently, permadeath. So you make sure you do all your upgrades on the Normandy. That means talk to every character, and they're going to recommend an upgrade that they need. Just do it. You have to do every loyalty mission. So based off certain characters, they are assigned a point value. So they are either assigned at 3 points, 2 points, or 1 point, or 0 points. If you do a loyalty mission, it almost doubles it. So they'll jump up to like 4, 3, and 2. So if you do a loyalty mission for each character, they're pretty much going to survive. Next bit, the next bit, you'll have to research as you do your final battle. The final battle, you'll break off characters, go to different directions, and you'll need somebody to leave your team.
Oh no, it's like Gears of War.
So you'll have to make sure you get somebody that is a specialist in that area that requires. So if it's somebody who you need for biotics, you need to choose the best biotic on your team. If you don't, you choose somebody who's a biotic that's weak, that character will die permanently.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of ramifications in the final battle. You have to be careful and build up a strategy around it. If you go through it blind, you may be surprised about who will survive at the end of the
At the point of the first one that I'm in, do I need to look at any of that type stuff, or is it pretty straightforward from where I am?
The only advice I give you at the beginning before you get to the end you'll know is called Suicide Mission, which is one of the best tracks ever written in the video game OST. I love the Suicide Mission soundtrack. When they're playing that soundtrack as you go through it, but the mission's called Suicide Mission.
Okay.
Long as you don't start the Suicide Mission, you're good to go. Outside of
talking about Uno. Is there anything I need to know going into Uno?
Nah.
Okay. No. I killed the racist bitch.
You're already there. If you're gonna go for the high Paragon, you're already there with the charm. Max charm. If you want to go renegade, you go with the other direction, the intimidate.
I got a trophy for 75% Paragon achievements or percentage or some shit.
Yeah, you've already almost hit max Paragon, which is basically the good.
Okay.
The good ending. When you in the second game, you don't have that. You don't have charm. You don't have intimidation. You have you still have Paragon. You still have a renegade. But all that is holy shit. The next came back. So. All that is for Paragon is just based off your choices. So if you make positive choices and positive recommendations, and you talk to characters and build your Paragon, they'll give you reputation that goes up. It adds up to your Paragon. You need to maintain that as the game goes through, because there's going to be certain choices that you need a certain amount of Paragon to get the best option for your crew. So it's one of those things you have to do a balance of. So if you do everything, you'll be fine, and you're not a dick to everybody, you'll be fine. If you just do the main story and just kind of skip over some of the side stuff, you won't have a high enough Paragon to save people or get loyalty missions, because there's going to be a point in the game that your Paragon is important to be high enough. There's a lot of RPG shit in this game. So if you have to have a high enough Paragon, because there's going to be a point towards the end of the game where you get your loyalty missions done for 4 characters. 2 of those characters are like sugar and salt. They're the exact opposites. Mm-hmm. They're going to have an argument, and you have to have the right Paragon to finesse out of it, not pissing off each character.
Oh, no.
So you got to please both of them. If you piss off one of them, you're not going to get max loyalty for that character. That's going to happen twice for 2 characters on your ship.
Well, I know it's coming. Can I look it up? Like, hey.
You'll know once you complete the loyalty missions for those characters. Okay. You can look it up. Okay. I don't want to give you, because I don't want to give you any information. Right. One of those characters are characters you'll know in the first game. One of them is going to add to their story, which is pretty damn good. This game is fucking amazing. The second game is the best one in my opinion. I'm playing the third one. I wish I'm playing the second one again.
I love the first one. Everybody raves about part 2, and I'm loving this first game. I think it's amazing.
Part 1 is great, but part 2, the character development is so fucking good, and the backstory is great. 3 has its moments, but I've got maybe 15 hours into 3. I'm maybe halfway through it. This game changes up where it does more of a close up on the character. It is very, very more, even more like Gears of War. You get more of the shoulder over the shoulder. It still does have the ammo tied to bullets, but the ammo is plentiful everywhere. You see these little stashes everywhere. You can just pick up ammo as you go through these firefights you have on there.
It's not a Resident Evil Mass Effect.
No. Mass Effect 2 is the Resident Evil Mass Effects. Mass Effect 3 is like the Halo Mass Effects, I guess, if you can pick up regular ammo. This one is more built. I see more of the Gears influence on this one. You have more of a map. You have a lot of areas to cover. The map's not very huge. They focus more on the firefights, more versus over exploration. It is very more action and focus versus RPG focus. You'll notice that as you see these games go through. 1 is like the pinnacle of RPGs for the Western RPGs. 2, they add more, a little bit of more action into it to kind of bring in. You can see they're trying to appeal to another a broader base. Right. 3, they went overboard with the action. There's a lot less RPG. As you go through the Citadel, you can't walk around the Citadel like you could do in the first 2.
Oh.
You have to get in the elevator and you pick certain sections, and you can only interact in that section. And then you have to go back in the elevator and choose another section. It is more action oriented.
That takes away a lot of atmosphere.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
I love that dialogue wheel so much in the first one. It makes me think I might try one of your visual novels because I love just going through the choices and seeing how these conversations play out and how the story goes.
Let me know and I'll recommend a visual novel for you. You got to be careful. You can never go wrong with I don't want to get too off the tangent. You can never go wrong with Steins Gate because Steins Gate has a lot of sci-fi-esque and it's not too much on the Wii bullshit.
Stuff, right?
Yeah. The first one dealt with time travel, and then they both deal with time travel. You also have Robotic Notes, which deals with a little bit of time travel as well, but it's also like robots. It's a different type of science. Then you have some other ones out there. You just gotta be careful.
16 Sentinels.
13.
Oh, 13 Sentinels is fucking great. It is fucking good. I still love that game.
I had 3 too many Sentinels. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What's the next game?
If I can wipe my memory and play 13 Sentinels again, I would sign up for that experiment. It would be worth it. That's a good ass fucking game. Most of the sci-fi based visual novels are good. You will get that scratch that itch, kind of like this Mass Effect type thing. So I mean, those dialogue wheels, like you have that dialogue wheel in the third game, but the third game is like you can tell that they're speeding up development. This game, it's not anywhere the quality's bad. It's just that it doesn't go the way that I feel like it should. The story development's not that bad. It's just it starts off very slowly. It doesn't start off like hit the ground running as a second one, so it takes a while. There's some points in there where the third one's like, I'd rather just play something else. I'm kind of like forcing myself to go through it because I'm tired of just swapping games all the damn time. I'm almost done with 3. I'm just gonna knock it out and be done with it.
So I'm curious about something because Mass Effect 3.
Sure.
I don't know why the Wii U has come up so many times this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be able to pop in Mass Effect 3 for Wii U and track your decisions from 1 and 2 with that little comic thing they do to start off with? Would you be able to do that and complete Mass Effect 3 on Wii U kind of with your same, let's say your same playthrough with 1 and 2?
Yeah. Yeah, because the same major decisions that carry over, those are the options they give you in the comic. So.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I always wondered how that worked. Because at the same time that Wii U owners were getting Mass Effect 3 Special Edition, everybody else was getting the trilogy, It's like, why didn't we get the trilogy on Wii U? That would have been a great game still for the Wii U, is having all 3 of those on one package.
I think it was just that whole EA tried to do a quick port, get something out right around launch, but you saw that support from EA dried up after those sales weren't there. So
we got Madden, FIFA, Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Like no Battlefield, no Battlefront, none of those from that era, did we?
No, I think all we got was that one Call of Duty, also the one me and you played. So.
Oh God, we did, and that was rare for a long. Yeah. Or it wasn't rare. It was high in demand for a long time.
Yeah, there was a lot of that on there. Even the Batman. Remember, they only got that one Batman. So.
I'm trying to look now for Wii U EA games.
It was all that launch window because remember everybody was hot on the Wii games, and so they were like, all right, let's
port over a bunch of stuff that was Wii U that's already out there, because people were going to jump on this and it just never took
I
off.
get pissed off about
Backfired.
the Wii U. The Wii U had to die, I guess, but it still pisses me off sometimes because it had such high promise. We did the FaceTime thing a couple times. Remember doing that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It worked well. The little WeChat or whatever the fuck they call it. Whatever the Wii U something.
Wii video chat.
Yeah, whatever it's called. I've used that a couple times. Not as often as I should because nobody else owned a Wii U other than you that I know of.
Just me and you. And then Russell got one for Splatoon. Brent got one. Brent, did you get one at launch?
Yeah, but
yes.
Oh, he's right there with us.
There you go.
What were your launch titles, Brant?
Oh my gosh. Of course it came with Nintendo Land. I think I got Zombie U and oh gosh, what else did I get?
Split that at Target with the buy two get one. I think we both got Zombie U.
Sonic and the Secret Rings.
No. Gosh. What was
Sonic
my
That's
other
a Wii title.
Black Knight. Yeah, no, I'm just naming bad Sonic games now.
We don't have enough time
there was
for
one
that.
other game and I just can't
Sonic
I can't remember
2006.
what it was.
I know I picked up Zombie U. We got Call of Duty. Cesar and I did. And Super Mario U Deluxe.
That's what it was.
Because the Nintendo lineup was shallow, right? It was just Nintendo Land and Super Mario. Was there another one?
Super Mario U.
Oh God, here we fucking
I don't
go.
think so. Down the rabbit hole.
Wii U launch titles. I don't remember it being bad. September 2012? Oh,
wow.
It doesn't feel like that long ago. It was $349 for that deluxe set with 32 gigs of storage.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
That's the one I got.
Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, Skylanders Giants, Transformers Prime, Wipeout 3, Epic Mickey 2, The Power of 2, FIFA Soccer 13, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, New Super Mario Bros. U, Ninja Gaiden, Razor's Edge, Nintendo Land, Sing Party, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, this article says Wario's, Warriors Orichi 3 Hyper, Darksiders 2, Assassin's Creed 3, ESPN Sports Connection, Just Dance 4, Rabbids Land, Your Shape Fitness Evolved 2013, Zombie U, Scribblenauts Unlimited, Game Party Champions, and Batman Arkham City Armored Edition. Overall, that is not a bad launch lineup. You got Black Ops, you got Mario Brothers, you got Tekken Tag Tournament, you got Nintendo Land, you got Ninja Gaiden, you got Wario's Orichi, Assassin's Creed 3. I think Russell got me that copy instead of like PS3 or 360.
That's a way more stacked lineup than what we got with the current gen.
Yeah, big time. More compelling titles, I would say, even though some of them were, a couple of years old for their respective ports, I guess it was. All right, Cesar, we derailed you. Sorry, sir.
No, you're fine. Yeah, so outside of that, like I said, this one's more of the battle system's more gears based. You don't have that freedom of the map. There's still some story bits you can scatter from finding PDAs scattered throughout the levels. Some of that stuff will net you to find resources that you can go around the Citadel and give to different people. Like you'll randomly hear people like, "Oh, I need this. I need the modifications for bioamps," and you might go on a mission and find that stuff, and you'll find additional weapons. You'll find upgrades. There's a lot more upgrades you can add to your weapons to change the attributes. It is more of a action game, like this stuff you would do on like a shooter type game, like a third-person shooter. You'll see that on there. It's definitely trying to cater to a bigger crowd. The overall story, I'm not going to get into it because it's the end of the trilogy. What you're fighting is what you're fighting at the end
Triology.
of it. The triology. The difference in this one is that you have to build an army. It gives you a bar graph at your comm station that tells you your strength because you're fighting multiple theaters of war. So as you go through and you find these different files and items and all that stuff through your missions, it adds to your overall theater of war. So when you get to a certain asset number, you can begin the final battle. So you have a line drawn in the middle, like once you hit here, you can start the final battle, but you can go even higher. So depending on what you get higher up, you can save additional characters or get additional story bits that you would not get. Outside of that, I think when I played this game, I just kind of just to finish the story, I blew through it because there's a lot of stuff when I'm playing this game. I notice it now. A lot of shit I don't remember. I remember some of the characters. The characters in the second game were so well done. I remembered all of them vividly, and a lot of their mannerisms. I mentioned that last week.
Yeah.
The way their personalities, the way they talk. I went through this and I forgot like, I forgot this guy was in here. You know, it's cool because I'm going through it now and I enjoy these characters. It's just not as memorable as the second one. So a lot of stuff I just don't remember. Not beating the third one. I'm going through this like I don't remember this guy. I've seen to be doing more side quests in this one. Huh?
Why is he in here?
No, he's fine. They're fine. I don't want to give you names, but they're fine.
He's fine. Let's move along.
Yeah. But and they're not bad. They're not as memorable as the second game.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion. You know, there's a lot of people out there that love the third game. There's a lot of story bits in the third game that I never experienced. So I'm gonna go through it and try to get those. A lot of good stuff that people recalled. So we'll see as I get there. Like I said, I'm only about halfway through it. So as I go through it, I'm just gathering up resources for the final battle. And you're just basically your story bit as you're going through the universe, trying to get everything prepared. So we'll see. I'll finish it up, and maybe I'll have some more to go over, see if I see anything different. When I was playing before we started the stream today, I was on a mission where I was looking for a species or something that can fight the Reapers. So that is actually more powerful than them. So I'll leave it at that.
I got a lot more Reaper lore in my last like 2 hours of playthrough, and I'm just like, the story just exploded, and I was like, holy shit.
So if you ever like, I'm done with my bit. I'm gonna give it to you, Brent. I want to stay on it for forever. But there's one thing I do remember from Game Informer, and I do enjoy Game Informer when they go through the end of the the best games of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember vividly that they listed the last 5 hours in the Mass Effect 1 was like their number 1 or number 2 like best moments in gaming of that year.
It's up there.
That last 5 hours, like I told you, the game's good, but that last 5 hours is a roller coaster. You get a whole bunch of story bits, and you're going through, and you're like, okay, and yep. So I'll leave it at that. I don't want to ruin it for anybody else.
No, I'm with you.
I don't know what you've seen yet. So,
I'm with you. It has the same weight.
So just a heads up. You read that novel like I did.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Ascension we mentioned it last week?
Yep.
And I forgot that Kaylee Sanders in that book.
Yep.
You actually meet her in the third game.
Oh.
So just a heads up. So surprise. It kind of closed that loop, and they talk about that book in there too when you meet her. So.
God, I read that book years ago, but I was glued to it.
Yeah.
I spent more time reading the book than I did playing the game.
Saren was a good character, man.
Yeah.
He was just Sovereign fucked him over since that book, man. So.
That's the lore dump that I got with Sovereign. I'm just like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Because you think about it, like how long has he been indoctrinated? You know, you saw how old Anderson is. He's been indoctrinated. Saren's been indoctrinated forever. He's like, when they talk about that first game, they're talking about all the stuff in the background about how long Saren's been preparing for this and all that.
Yeah.
He's been indoctrinated for a long time.
Yeah.
Even though he's sitting there, you played it, even though he's on there on arguing with you, and he isn't. Did all the research trying to find out about doctoration. It's like, man, you're doctorated. Get out of here.
You're ate up, dude. You're already drinking the Kool-Aid, man. You're deep in there.
Yeah, you've been in it for decades.
All right, Brant, hour and 48. Where are we at? You have 25 minutes, sir.
I'm gonna probably try and make this quick.
About Mass Effect.
Let's see. I have continued to play
another hour and a
Returnal.
half. We can stay up for the Dragon Quest stream. I'm sorry.
No,
it's not gonna happen.
No, that's
Press
not
A
gonna
for
happen.
Dragon Quest stream. Press A.
Oh shit. So, yeah, I played more Returnal because I talked about getting back into that after getting my ass beat by the boss, that first boss, and thankfully, no. I beat the boss, went back through, and went through this big giant gate into a new area, and then got my ass handed to me by something like I didn't even hardly see.
There's a theme behind Returnal that I'm discovering.
But so I jumped back into it. I jumped back into it to see, what the deal was, and thankfully, once I got to that portal again, I could just go right through it. So there's, you're not going to have to go back through and So I'm guessing like the key things you do, you know, if you unlock a door to a boss or something, once you die, you can come back. There's also these things that I had seen, and during my playthrough, because I sat down and played for like 3 hours on like Saturday morning, and there's a
good
machine
feeling.
that I hadn't really
Sounds
gotten
like a
to
good Saturday.
use.
Mm-hmm.
And it's of one of the. It's basically looks like like an imprint of one of the alien creatures in this giant machine, and you have to collect a certain number of one of the currencies to actually use it. But if you do, it will reset your start point back to that machine rather than you dying and going all the way back to the beginning, at least for one death. So
Oh, that's helpful.
yeah, it became helpful to figure that out, because I when you first start out, that one specific type of currency you need to use that, it was a little bit sparse, but now that keep finding it, if you find those machines, you can use them, and it becomes a lot more helpful. But dude, I was in a groove with the combat. I was finding good pickups. I got through this desert. I found the thing that had killed me last time, which was like this. It was like it was almost like this giant turtle looking thing, and it would like bury itself in the sand, so its shell stuck out, and it would like shoot this almost like missiles out of its shell and just bombard you.
Sounds like Blastoise.
And then it would come out of the sand and come and attack. So
Or Sandshrew. Is Sandshrew a Pokemon?
Yes,
That one?
Sandshrew
Yeah.
and
Sorry.
Sandslash. But
Sand and Toast. Toast and Sand.
San Antonio.
San Antonio, San Diego.
All the Sands. San Francisco. Santa Ana.
Sans from Undertale. But anyway, so I got
Sands of
through
Time.
and I found Sands of Time. I found the boss in this area. I tracked down. I mean, you come across even more elaborate enemies to fight, and eventually I found a boss and a new gate to go through. Of course, finding more upgrades and things, and then I got into another new area. So now that's 3 out of the 6 biomes that are in this game.
What's the
And I
third
tracked
one like?
down.
You said the second one was like a Mars-ish, reddish type thing, right?
Yeah, it's like a red desolate desert.
What's the third one?
The third one, it kind of goes back to kind of like that ruin-esque feel that you have in the other ones, but they're like these. It's very monolithic. It's
Fields of Gold?
huge. No fields of gold.
God bless the fields of gold.
But I went through that and found a humongous sentient being like attached to some machine, and that's where this signal that I had been tracking had come from. And after that boss fight, which that boss fight's pretty intense, the game screws with you quite a bit and gives you quite a little twist, and you you wind up in the fourth area. So, and that's you're basically.
Oh.
How many areas is this game? Is like 4 or 5?
It's like 6, I believe.
6? Yeah.
So
You're like halfway, maybe a little bit over halfway.
I would assume I'm a little bit more than halfway.
I wish you would just beat this game so you can play Resident Evil. I don't want to take away your fun. I just want.
Oh no, don't worry, I'm getting Resident Evil.
Oh,
Oh, in my face. That's what I get for being a patient.
palate cleanser.
Brand's like, shut the hell up and let me finish.
Let me finish my fucking bit, and I'll get to what you're asking.
Because I got to, I mean, this game, after playing that and getting as far as I did and progressing, and after that like twist that it gave me, and you know, I've mentioned the house at different points in the game. That house keeps appearing, and at certain times it's
the PT
open.
house.
Yes. At certain times it's open, and then you go through it and you have an experience in this house, and then it like you wake up outside of the house after you have these experiences. Like I can't, I don't want to go into them.
Is it
But
spoilers, basically?
kind of, but I mean the game gives you such cryptic parts of the story, and I mean you just going through this because of her isolation, because of the constant deaths and returning and finding corpses of herself and finding these bits of information that are imparted to her from her other selves and stuff. It's like you're slowly seeing this descent into madness or unease in some of her other selves, and it's you get these weird, like I said, weird cryptic bits of story, and it does and doesn't make sense, but it entices you just to keep going and keep playing.
So I'm
And
assuming at the end is just going to tie in so well that probably
I'm
clicks.
hoping it does.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it does. But then I woke up in this next area, and you're hearing a song. So you are now tracking the music, and it's weird because it's like a weird slowed down version, and it's only I think like 5 or 6 notes of the song. And at first, like I was like, it kind of sounds familiar. I just don't know what it is. And eventually, I picked up a voice recording from one of her past selves talking about how she's so tired of hearing the music, and then she starts saying something, and I was like, wait a minute, those are song lyrics. I know this song. What song is this? And I just couldn't place it. And like the end of the voice recording, she says, she says something about the seasons not fearing the reaper. And I was like, oh, it is that. And I was like, that's
Colt.
Yes. I was like, it is. And that's such a well-placed thing for this game.
That's great.
So
I was hoping for it would be California Dreaming, but not everybody loves that song.
But
he's only on the third biome. It could be later on.
But so I mean, I've already gotten through like 3 different bosses, and now I've finally tracked the music down. And once you get to this, it's a giant door, and you have to like go and find 2 different keys to open the door. Once you do that, you get in, and there's another boss. I have fought him twice and gotten very, very close both times.
It's aggravating.
Yeah, but in between that, because since that happened, I had taken a break, but even before I got to that to him, because I had done a few runs and just was not having very good drops and things like that, not getting good weapons or upgrades or anything. But upon defeating the last boss, I did get something that made traversal a lot easier. But before coming back to Returnal and getting to the point I am now, I did put in Resident Evil 8. I didn't play a whole lot of it.
I expect you to say you beat the game. Damn it, Brent.
I've gotten to the point where I've seen the Duke twice now, and I went ahead and saved. Because we've had some more things to do around the house and everything. But I am definitely going to get back into that game. So you wind up in the village in the first part of the game, in the actual part that you play, because the first, that first little bit is just cinematic, setting up the story and everything that goes so far, because it takes place 3 years after 7. And it's nice. There's a little recap if you wind up skipping 7, if you started playing 7 and it just wasn't your deal, you can at least pick up 8 and give it a try and not be completely lost, because it will fill you in on the story so far. But you wind up in the village, and it's desolate. There's you can tell there's something rustling around, and it's not very soon before there's conflict. And I mean, all I can say is somebody at Capcom certainly hates hands, and maybe even just hates Ethan. I mean, I'm not super far into the game, but the amount of time that he just gets stabbed with stuff like all the time, last game, this game, it's like, how has he not died? Or does he have a extremely high pain tolerance? Because he's constantly getting stabbed and jabbed and.
It makes sense because I mean the only part of him you do see is his hands and arms. Yeah. You know, I mean that would be the only part that it can affect him that you would be exposed to. So.
Oh, there was that. I don't know if it affected you because Katie was sitting here. She came in. Um, I would say a little bit right after I got into the village and started seeing some of the lichens and stuff because, of course, this game, like I said, I haven't gotten into it. It might lean or might go other places. But as far as everything we've seen from the trailer, it goes more supernatural. So we know, we have a 9-foot vampire, 9-foot tall vampire lady. We've got werewolves and stuff like that. So she came in as I was fighting some of the lichens, and she just sat down and watched. But this game so far, the bit I've played, it seems like such a good marriage of the mechanics of 7 and 4. Because I actually didn't mind the inventory system from 4. So far, I guess I'm just not far enough into it because I mean, I don't have it.
How far did you get? That's the question.
Just to the second point that you see the Duke. So I'm in the castle. The sisters find you and show Lady Dimitris.
So you've already had the introduction to all 4 children, basically.
Yes.
And you already had the part where you're doing Running Man.
You have to escape the maze kind of deal.
Yeah. And then you go into the castle, and that's where you run into Lady Dimitris's castle first.
Yeah.
So.
And
Dimitris.
Golly.
Sexy vampire. You met the sexy vampire lady?
Yeah. Before that, I mean, like I said, back in the village, I'm noticing things like from Resident Evil 4. Just like I said, besides the inventory system, if you look around, if you pay attention, it's not as blatant as it was in 4, but you might see something sparkling above you and you have to shoot it and it falls down and it's a little item. Or you might see like a bird cage hanging from a tree and you shoot it and there's, like gunpowder or something in there that you get out of it. And but so far it's pretty interesting, but there is a lot of that, like even old school, like there's this thing you can blatantly see, but it's behind this tiny little, grate, and you have to get a screwdriver. So you have to go find the, screwdriver that you need and come back and get that so you can, get this key to unlock this other door. And, same old Resident Evil stuff. But going back to how like gory and stuff it is, did it bother you? Did you wince or cringe when Ethan has to like pull his hand through those hooks? Cesar?
When they get strung up, no.
Sounds gross.
Oh my gosh!
I'm amazed he was able to do it. So, because I mean, you have literally gravity pulling you down, and somehow he was able to lift his hands above those hooks.
Just like, yeah. I winced, and then all of a sudden he's like going for the other hand. I'm like, no, man, don't, no.
It ripped through the other hand, didn't it? Completely. Yeah.
And then, as true to form, just get that healing juice and pour it on there. That's all it takes.
Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet. Give it time. Yeah, you have not seen the worst that can happen to his hands. So.
Oh my gosh,
there's more. It's gonna get worse.
But. Obviously, I mentioned the Duke, and he is like the merchant from Resident Evil 4. He'll appear in certain areas, and from him you can purchase ammo. You can buy upgrades. You can sell, like Cesar was saying, you can sell certain items. And I'm gonna wind up having to look up items because after you told me that certain things can be combined, because I
They'll say
think
it
right
on there.
now
They'll say it on there, combinable. When you look at the
Okay.
treasures, they'll say combinable.
it'll say combinable.
And they'll
Okay.
give you like a little diamond grid, and they'll tell you like 1 of 2, 2 of 2. So,
Gotcha. Because all I've got right now, I think I've got like some kind of like fragment of a crystal and some kind of like crystal skull thing that I found.
the very good crystal
And
skull.
yeah,
Don't look at it, Marion.
that I can sell to him, but I was
gotta
like
save
somewhat
money.
hesitant. But yeah, so far, I mean, I enjoy the atmosphere and I enjoy seeing the mechanics. A lot of the mechanics from 4 kind of meshed with 7. So far, I'm just it's going to be very hard. I gotta choose my time wisely and try and play both of these games because I really want to play both at the same time almost.
For me, 8 wasn't that long. Like I said, it took me 9 hours. I played it on. I don't know what difficulty you're playing on. I'm playing it on standard.
Yeah, I'm playing standard as well.
And I literally thought about dropping it down to easy when I used up my last bullet. I used my very, very last bullet on the final boss. It's like, well, if this doesn't work, I guess I'm going to have to drop down as I die. And that last bullet killed that boss. And I was like, yes. So I had
Wow.
just enough ammo. on
Validation.
Yeah. And like I mentioned before, once you beat the game, you can get points and go through a shop. And this will the greatest thing ever made. You can get infinite ammo on certain weapons. So
Like the
I'm just gonna buy
bandana from
infinite
Metal
ammo on the
Gear.
Magnum and just go through. Yeah.
Are there like special guns and things you can get as well after you beat the game?
It's
Okay,
a lot
cool.
of fun shit that you can go in there and get. You can actually like that lichen boss you have in the very beginning of the village that you can't beat. You actually you get a trophy for beating him. You can actually beat him if you get a weapon with infinite ammo. So
Nice.
you have to do it. Yeah. So
That can be fun because that was definitely one of my favorite things about being done with Resident Evil 4 was being able to go back because there was costumes you could get for Leon and Ashley, and you could get infinite ammo. You can get Tommy gun. You can get exploding crossbows and all sorts of stuff. So it's so much fun to go back through and play a game again once you have like they're cheats. They're basically cheats. And basically just take out things that were giving you so much hell when you initially did it. You're like, yeah, you're nothing now.
Like getting big head mode or something on. Yeah.
Or there's just that factor, when you're playing. Gosh, what was it? Like Tony Hawk? They had a lot of cheats in there. Big head, disco mode, low gravity, and. But yeah, that's that was it for me this week.
Just trying to get us out of here and watch the end of the Hawks game. They're gonna lose, so it doesn't matter.
Oh.
No, it's fine because this is the best of 7, so we always have to win. We always have to win at least one in their home turf. We did that, so we just got to make sure we win both ours coming up this weekend. So that's how it works.
It is. All right, you guys got anything else you want to add? Did we get close to it? I think we're actually very close to it. Yep, 143. Look at us.
Yeah, look at that.
Who would have thought? Not me. All right.
I mean, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
Adios.
See you.